Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 287 for January 17th, 2019. I am one of your hosts, Adriel Frosty.
It's cold. I thought you were going to say Michaud, but you didn't. You just said Frosty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm Kelly Lynn, the classy one, but I shouldn't have added Lynn.
Oh, I know. Ruined my day.
That's okay.
Well, yeah, we're short-manned today because we're missing two of the guys that are supposed to be on this show.
Yep.
Trevor, I was talking to, I was saying, yeah, we're going to do a holster show. And he said he couldn't make it. He only really has one holster. It's one of those ankle deals that they put down kind of in your boot or something like that. That's so that when the old ladies at bingo get a little bit grabby, he can, quick
he
draw.
He is attractive, They do go after him.
I mean, yeah, the selection is not great at bingo. And
he's considered young.
He's considered young in a bingo hall, yeah.
And high quality.
Yeah, and they get so grabby with him. So yeah, I could see how he wants a little bit of self-defense.
Yeah.
And then Matthew, well, I mean, he put those SKSs on his airplane, and it wasn't built for it. It's a ultralight, and SKSs are not ultralight guns, so
not
4 extra.
I was going to say not when you meant 4 of them, anyways.
Yeah, I think he broke his wings off. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so he's out there repairing it. So, and just wanted to let you know that I am still sick. I feel a lot better. Today is the first day that I feel like, I haven't been hit by a Mack truck. I have my Benylin DM. I have my Halls. I have my Schweppes. And I didn't have any whiskey. So, not yet.
It's not in the Schweppes?
No.
No? That's odd.
No.
Okay.
But I also was talking to Gallon this afternoon, and I said, thank you very much. I said, we're going on week 3. So... But
whatever he gave you, it's got lasting power.
I know, eh? I think I was in one each one. I don't know. But
one of them swine flu ones.
Yeah.
One of those ones that passed from a hog to a dog to a person.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Contagion? The moral of the story is wash your hands. That's it.
Yeah.
So if I am mute for a few minutes, it might be because I'm coughing up a lung still. But I'm not coughing as much as I was. So
sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't we get into what we did in guns this week? What we did in guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Centre, Canada's premier firearms retailer. Right now, they have the Browning X-Bolt Hell's Canyon long range in 6.5 Creedmoor for $14.29.
Nice.
6.5 Creedmoor. I think I got to get another gun in 6.5 Creedmoor.
I think you need more hair on the head to get a 6.5.
More hair on the head?
Man bun. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. And some of them real skinny jogging pant things that they wear.
And the beard and then the flannel shirt.
I got a little bit of a beard. I need a longer beard, though. Yeah. I need to drink more soy lattes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll get to it. I'll get on it.
I think it's actually a good caliber.
Yeah, I do too. I love joining on the memes and the talking about it. Do you want to start this week? You never start. Why don't you start this week?
Okay. So this week I did not do much because, as I said, I was feeling pretty sick, and actually until today I was toast the whole entire week. But I did want to let you know that the CCFR calendars, I always start off with the CCFR calendars, but there's good reason why I'm starting off with it this week. We're 80% sold out. So if you want a calendar, go to the CCFR website, go to the store and get one. It's only $20, and then you can register it. And make sure you register it, because yesterday we had our first draw of the year for these calendars.
Adriel, I wasn't notified of my winning. What?
Surprise.
No.
But the calendar, what we drew for was a Canuck Defender combo shotgun. It was awesome. Odell Engineering, they supplied it. So I wanted to say thank you to Phil Odell and everybody at Odell Engineering for supporting the CCFR and the Ladies' Day program.
That's a pretty incredible prize. I got some scent stuff last year, which saved my butt and got me in with my wife for Mother's Day. So it's perfect timing.
Yep.
But it's not a shotgun.
No, So there are shotguns. There's other guns too, and there's all kinds of great prizes. So there was somebody named Rick. It wasn't the Rick that we know, but he is one of our supporters at the CCFR. He won the shotgun, so I wanted to say congratulations to him. And as I said, I wanted to say thank you to Odell Engineering for supplying the prize and kicking off the draws with a bang, I guess. Just to let everybody know that only 50% of those that got calendars or bought calendars have registered them. So right now the odds are pretty good you'll win some great prizes. So yeah, if you haven't registered it, register it, because you know what? You'll get a chance to win some prizes. And just wanted to mention that Trevor's losing his memory because he registered his a long time ago and then asked me to check and see if he registered. So I think he's losing his memory. I think it's the age thing.
Could be.
Yeah. All right. What else? Oh, did you check out CCFR Canada's downrange this week at all? Adrian?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you?
I want to say yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Say yes anyways.
Yes anyways.
Yes. Okay. I was on that. It was the EOSC Ladies' Day, so they were featuring women basically getting into shooting and how the CCFR supports that. There was lots of great people on the show this week. Tracy Wilson, Colin Sanders, Kelly Kincaid, and also the Olympic hopeful Mary Patrick was at the event as well as me. We were able to get 80 ladies in that day. 80 ladies who've never come out shooting before. They came out to the range and they had a great time, but you can catch that on the CCFR downrange. And I think
on Wild TV.
On Wild TV. And if you don't have Wild TV, then you can go to Wild TV and they'll stream it as well. It's a subscription thingy. I don't know. Anyways,
mm-hmm.
I don't have Wild TV, but my dad does. So I've been sick, and recently my dad's had an accident. So he has been at home basically convalescing, and I've been going over there every night. So when I go over there, we sit down, we watch Wild TV. And so we were watching CCFR downrange together. So I thought Canada
Sweet.
Downrange together. I thought it was pretty awesome.
You just wanted to watch it with him because you knew you were going to be on there. Hey, Dad, just watch this show for a second. I'm on TV. Oh, that just happens all the time.
Yeah.
I'm famous. Yeah. I don't know if you know me.
Yeah. No, but it's kind of cool because I don't know if you knew this or not. My dad is he's a gun collector. He was in the military. He's a really, really good shooter. My brother is as well. And they're both hunters. But me, they never invited me to go shooting, for one thing. So I'm going to blame them for that. But I didn't get into shooting until basically recently, about 5 years ago. So yeah, so now it's something else that we can talk about. And I really do have to talk to him because he's willed my brother all of his guns. So I need to actually say, listen, you know what? Maybe your daughter might like some of those as well because he's got some really cool guns. So
world famous daughter.
Yeah.
Should be.
But you know what? Cool thing he said to me this week. He says, "Hey, you doing the podcast this week?" So I'm going, "Oh, he listens. That's awesome."
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So I haven't done really anything. I've just been really, really sick. So, what about you?
Oh, that's something. I hit the range with that Girsan BCL 102 and AR-15.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Girsan ran fine. It did not like my competition ammo, so I got some ammo that's downloaded a little bit for gaming sake for a 3-gun because you just need to put a hole in paper. It doesn't matter how fast it's going. You don't need to make that power factor with it.
It didn't like it. Stuff.
It liked the cheap factory ammo. I have some Blazer brass, and it ran fine with that. It's just it's got like a full power recoil spring on there, so it doesn't like anything too light. Otherwise, ran fine, shot fine.
Yeah.
It's a cheap polymer striker fired pistol. What are you going to do? It's just going to run, right?
Yeah, $280, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Pretty cheap.
Yeah, it is pretty cheap.
Let's see what else. I found out that it does the same thing as the M&P, where if you slam the mag in, it drops a slide forward. I love that. Gamer stuff. I took the BCL 102 out, and
how was that?
I went with my buddy with his Stag 10S, and I took the bolt out of his Stag 10S and I put it in my BCL, and it ejected like a champ.
Sweet.
Yeah, those cases were just flying out of there. So it's definitely something with the ejection pattern on the bolt. It's not the gun itself or the ammo or anything like that. It's the ejector and the tension on it. And I did a bunch of testing when I got home in terms of like I used my trigger pull gauge on like the tip of the case and checked what the temperature and the tension at the tip of the case as it's being held in the bolt is half that of the Stag. So the Stag is definitely applying more pressure on that case to flick it out. And the pocket on the bolt head is deeper as well, so it can't slip out as easily as it can on the BCL. Anyways, they're sending me a new bolt, so I'm going to try that. And if that doesn't work, I'm going. True North Arms has the AR-10 ejectors. They didn't have a spring, but they said they're going to get some stuff in like a week and a half kind of a thing, like a whole bunch of AR-10 stuff. They're stocking up on all that stuff because of the amount of people that are running the Stag 10s and the BCLs. So I'm going to try new ejector, new spring. I bet it'll work. I bet you that's all it needs. The 308 stuff. I ran some loads off of Hodgdon's website. And I got some pressure signs off of it. And this was just like middle of the road, kind of for the range that they were sending over. I was using IMR 4895. And I went and looked. I compared their stuff against like Lee and Nosler's books, and theirs is like a band higher. Like here's how much you can have. So it's
hot, yeah.
It's quite hot, and so now I got to disassemble a bunch of ammo.
How much did you do? Please don't tell me you did like 3,000 rounds.
No, I was testing for different powders. So I would go this much at 45, this much at 45.5, this much with this bullet, this much with that bullet. So it's really just tester ammo anyway. So it'll be easy enough to disassemble.
Out of the three, which powder do you like better?
Out of the three.
Oh, you didn't use different powders. You just used the different.
No, I had different powders and different bullets. Okay. They actually gave me like decent accuracy. Everything at 50 meters was right around 0.5 to 0.75, somewhere in there. So it's all right around the 1.5 MOA kind of a thing. So not bad. I need to dial them all down. So I got to disassemble a bunch and dial them all down, head back out. My AR-15, I got hammer follow again. Now, if you've been listening to the show, you're probably sick of me talking about this. I think I've got it down. I watched a video of Jerry Miculek trying to shoot a bump stock. And I noticed one thing that happened with him a lot. He would go to pull the trigger and it would be dead. And that's because for him, he was actually like so much incredibly faster with just his finger compared to the bump stock, because the bump stock's like, it's not super reliable, right? You need to get into the rhythm of letting it do its thing. You can't hold it or over grip the gun. So what he had is he would get the gun too back forward too quickly, and the hammer would follow his bolt, and he'd have to rip a round out, even though that round was fine. Yeah. So he was pulling the trigger just as that bolt was going back into battery. It was secondly too fast. Yes, with a bump stock, too fast.
Right.
I think that's the issue I'm having, because this is as of
sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
As of the moment I started putting in very lightweight, like match trigger, single stage cassette triggers that have like no travel on them. So I think what's actually happening is I'm pulling the trigger, the rifle recoils, not a lot. It recoils a little bit, which is enough because those cassette triggers don't have it like any reset on them. Gun resets as it's coming forward and the bolt is coming in 1 out of every 30 or so. It's actually hitting the trigger and it's following the bolt into battery. I think that's what's going to happen. So
what's the fix?
I'm going to bring some tools to the range. I'm going to bring my 2-stage national match trigger. And the first thing I'm going to do is try shooting it a bunch, holding the gun rigidly so that it cannot recoil in my hand. Like when I'm shooting from the bench, I'm trying to use light touch on especially on the grip. I'm not trying to over grip the pistol grip there. And I think that's what might be happening, is that the gun's actually moving and I'm not hanging onto it. So hanging onto it should keep that distance the same. If that doesn't work, I'm going to put in that 2-stage national match trigger, and I'm pretty sure that'll work.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, I was out at the range. I saw listener Matt. He was out there with his buddy doing some long range shooting. I was just kind of out there with my buddy. We were banging away some Hurtenberger out at like 500 with he had his Stag 10, I had my BCL, and we're just kind of hammering shots out there. And they were there out with some more precision bolt rifles that could do the job a little bit better. But yeah, they were making some work there.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt. I mailed away my M305, so I'm trading that for a Glock 17.
Sweet.
I got some safe lights. So there's a subreddit that has these deals, and someone was saying, oh, there's these little LED drawer lights. These are for like a drawer or something like that. They're on sale at Costco, so I picked some up. And the idea with these are they got like a little sensor on the side here. Yeah. If something is within 2 inches of that, they turn off, and as soon as it opens, they turn on instantly.
Right.
This is perfect for a safe because you stick this to your door so that the sensor is the inside, so that it hits the door, and then as the door opens, boom, lights on, lights off. It's got a battery built in, USB recharge, $15 for 4.
Oh, that's really good. We have some dome lights in ours that'll do the exact same thing, but they were a little bit more expensive, so a little bit bigger.
Yeah, there's some motion sensor ones out there. Generally, they turn off after like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. These turn off instantly as soon as you close the door. They're nice and small too, right? I had some, I don't know where they are. I had some like bigger ones that don't put out as much light. These are decently bright, especially inside the safe. They're making a big difference. I can actually see the stuff in there now, whereas before the lighting was kind of crappy.
Right.
What else did I get? I also got some of these, some more of these Hunt Shield locks from Canadian Tire. They had them on sale for like $12.
That's good.
Get this, they're on sale for $12 or a 3-pack for, I think it was 37. The 3-pack was more expensive.
Yeah, let's just go for the individual ones there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't, like if you're listening to this and you have like a keyed trigger lock or something like that, keyed trigger locks suck. You got to get like a combo lock because you never have to remember your keys, or you never lock your keys somewhere, or someone borrowed your truck while you're at the range, or a million other reasons why combo locks are the way to go.
And make sure the combos are all the same, and it's something that it's not 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
yeah.
Hey!
Yep.
Carson came in.
Yeah. Let's see here, and then I'm going to go to a 3-gun meetup after the show tonight. We're talking about some of our upcoming events and that kind of thing.
Okay. Awesome.
It's getting cold. We're just itching to talk about 3-gun.
How cold is it there today?
-20.
Yeah. Guess what?
What?
That's how cold it is here too. It's like, holy crap, man.
At least we're not facing 50 centimeters of snow like they are in New Brunswick.
Well, that's coming this weekend. It's supposed to be, and then it's supposed to go to New Brunswick as well. So it might be a cold and long weekend. I'm going to spend it indoors, I think, unless I go to SFRC, because I haven't been there in a couple of weeks, and I'm kind of
has to be every week, right?
Yeah,
you're slacking. You're definitely slacking.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to give them the plague, so I was trying to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to go to SFRC. Yeah.
All right, upcoming events. Sunday, February 24th, CRPS will be having their first event of 2019 at Valcartier, Quebec. They'll be closing registrations 7 days before the event date to allow enough time to process registrations and get names submitted to base security. Volunteers and spectators are welcome, but will need to be registered as well. If you want to register for that, go to rimfireprecision.ca/events.
Yay, and you said Valcartier, correct. Awesome. Good job.
I'm learning the French words.
Bonjour, my name is Adrien Michaud. Just say it with a French accent.
Je me français très mauvais.
Ooh, very good. Très bon.
That's all I can say.
Right.
My 3gun.ca website, I've been continuing to update that. I've got some Lethbridge is doing some events, Medicine Hat's doing some events, and I've been continuing to add those as they're being announced. Right now, it's very Alberta heavy. Like if you go there, it's like
Yeah.
Which Alberta event do you want to go to?
Well, it's Alberta and BC. That's generally, there's only a couple out east, isn't there?
Yeah, Alberta and BC, I think, are the only provinces that have monthly, like clubs that put on monthly matches.
Right.
And we have a couple in Alberta and a couple in BC. Yeah.
Do you find that that's the difference? Do you find that there's more IPSC out east and
well, there is
more
like
three-gun?
there's three gun. Actually, I'm just wrapping up another article on three gun, and one of the things I noticed was that out west, it's a discipline, and you do it once a month. You do it like it's frequent. There's clubs that practice like BTSA.
Yeah.
They do a weekly practice, a weekly like Monday night or something like that, where they practice this kind of stuff, right? So that's a more serious angle. Whereas I think in Ontario, not so much in Quebec, because in Quebec they have all Cartier matches, and those are generally big bad matches, right? But in Ontario, they're like a lot of the ranges have a 3-gun match, but it'll just be like one. It's just one for the whole year, and it's kind of like a fun thing to try once a year, and then that's it. So it's hard to get good just shooting one match a year. And I think that's where like these monthly clubs are, heck, even on the island out of Campbell River, they've got a club out there that does practice once a month and a match once a month.
Yeah. See, that's the exact opposite with IPSC here. I know that our club's doing IPSC events right through the winter as well, indoors, and once a month we're doing a match. So.
Yeah. A lot of places will have like a weekly, nightly, like once a week weeknight. They'll have like a little practice or something like that for pistol. That's very common, and that's what we're seeing in 3-gun out here. All right, why don't we go on to news and new gun stuff now?
Sure.
New gun stuff. There's a bunch of SHOT Show stuff that came out, a bunch of real crazy stuff that I'd love to talk about, but I think we'll hold off until next week so that we've got like all of it kind of wrapped up into one show. In terms of here in Canada, boy, there's a lot of cheap 223 and 9mm out right now.
Yep.
Joe Brook has American Eagle 223 for $389 with free shipping. So you don't need to buy anything else. $389 with tax, that gets it to your door, and that's 1,000 rounds of American Eagle 55 grain blaster ammo. And then I Run Guns has the M17S in 308. They've got some in stock. They're $2,000 US. And oh, that US Canadian thing is just killing us right now.
Yeah, right now it is. It's not worth it right now.
Yeah, exchange rate's horrible.
Yeah.
So why don't we get into the main topic?
All right.
I was thinking we'd based on what we were talking about last week. I was thinking we'd do holsters because we just started talking about it, and then everyone started pulling their holsters out, right?
I know, and it's too bad that Trevor's not here because of the fact the man has probably more holsters than he does underwear. So
and underwear with holsters in them, right in the front.
Yeah,
it pokes out the little like slider in there.
Yeah.
You need those. That's when you're in the outhouse and you don't have anything else on you. You're still strapped.
You know what? That's a serious problem, especially for women, and especially if you're going to a porta potty or an outhouse. Going to the washroom, not a good thing, by the way. Nope. Because you generally,
with a handgun, you don't want to drop it down the toilet.
You don't want anything dropped. So. Yeah.
It only flow for so long, and then it goes under the surface.
And
you gotta reach around it. I guess this isn't something a holster can fix, but
the women. There's a podcast. Two American women do the podcast. They're not doing it anymore, but they did a whole show on basically going to the washroom with your holster or going to the porta potty with your holster. It was a good show.
Yeah, do you put like that round toilet paper dispenser? Do you just like chuck your pistol on top of that, or do you put it on the side? Oh, there's so many decisions.
Yep.
Okay. So why don't we start with holster use cases, because some people use a holster for one particular thing, and that might not be what everyone else thinks of when they use a holster. Because I mean, I'm going to show my holsters. There's a strong theme. They're useful for one thing, and that's basically it.
Competition. You're going to be doing competition. You have to actually figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
All
Well, I
right.
mean, why don't we talk about what we can't really talk about, or well, at least what we're not qualified to talk about? Concealed carry holsters.
Yeah. Well, unless you get your New Hampshire, and then you can go down to the state and use it down there.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess.
But no, we can't conceal carry here.
No. Can we open carry?
No. Well, we
At
can
the
on the
range?
range.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, so that's not a strong use case then. So for open or concealed carry, we're not gonna talk about a terrible amount.
Although you can actually get the holsters, because you can conceal carry at the range. So if you're doing IDPA or some other discipline, you can use at the range. You're just not allowed to do it here, obviously in public. So
yeah, only at the range. Maybe at home. At home.
Sure, you can go do it at home.
Yeah.
Get
yeah,
used
I mean,
to practice your draws and in the basement, whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple of different styles. There's like appendix carry that's in the front. There's one on the side. Again, I think there are better podcasts with people who carry on a daily basis that would cover that part of holster use a lot better than we would. Well, so what kind of holsters do you have, Kelly?
So I only have 3. They're all Safariland as well. No, I have a Blade Tack with an offset for my CZ Shadow, which I don't like at all. The reason why I don't like it is because, one, it's not IPSC certified because of the fact that it is offset, so it points into my leg. So I switched over to Safariland for that one for my CZ Shadow, and then I also have a Safariland for my my Glock 17. So I've mounted them both with quick disconnects as well, so that it can change it out. So I don't have to take off a belt if I want to change out my guns. I can just.
Is that the Safariland ELS fork system, or is it the clip-on?
Nope, it's a fork system. So, which is great because I like, if I decide I want to go and shoot with my Glock, and then I'll switch over to my Shadow, I just slip it out and slip the Shadow in. So it's easy.
Most of mine have the Blade Tech locks on them.
Okay, yeah.
The ones that don't.
So
here,
I did have that with the my Blade Tech, and I didn't really like it all that much. I didn't feel secure with it as well. I know with my Safariland, I feel secure with it because of the fact that I can go running, and it's not my Shadow's not going to flop out onto the ground. So.
So that would be that's a retention holster then, your Safariland?
Yes. So I think it's the same one that you got, isn't it? Which one?
Grip lock. This guy here. It's got the little paddle down here that you grab onto and it comes out.
Yeah, that's exactly the one that I have as well. What is it? It's the 6378 ALS, I think it's called, isn't it?
579, 578, 57 something or other.
Okay. Yeah. And it is like a universal as well. So for the CZ Shadow, CZ Shadow 1, there is a wedge that you put into it, and it will fit. So just basically did that. The CZ Shadow fits in there, and there's no wiggle jiggle or anything like that. I can go running around with it. I feel very secure with it, and because of the fact that it's sick, it'll be fine for it because it has a couple of levels of retention as well. So
yeah, it's got that retention. So I mean, that's one thing we could talk about. I've got like a real basic Blade Tech holster here. This has got the tech lock on the back there, so it's easy to clip into belt. Now with the basic retention, you just grab it and pull it out. There is no lock or anything like that. They grab onto the trigger guard. There's like a little molded in part. A lot of these Blade Tech ones are Kydex. I like Kydex. The thing that I like about this is that you can lay down, like if you were to lay down on your right hand side, this gun's not going to go off. You've got a little bit of protection for the gun, a lot of protection for the trigger. And it's got a low probability that it'll come off, but it still could. If you're laying down on this thing and you go to get up and it unlocks, you could potentially leave a gun behind on the ground. Let's see here. This guy right here. This guy's got some. This is one that doesn't have any kind of quick disconnect or anything. This is just using a belt loop. This is a Safariland ALS. This is their thumb lock system. So they've got like a little kind of thumb button right there. And you have to hit that button as you draw the gun. Otherwise, it won't come out. And sometimes even if you hit it, it won't come out. Oh, there it goes. I forgot which one you had to do. You're muted there, Kelly.
Oh, sorry, I was coughing. So yeah, that's the same one that I have for my Glock 17 as well. I like it. It's got that extra protection as well. You have to use.
I don't like the.
You don't like the
thumb drive. No, okay. It's too.
So the difference is that with the thumb, right? You have some holsters where you have to use your index finger on the outside. So we have some questions about this in our mail as well. So maybe we should wait till we get there. Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer the grip one because you don't. It's very easy to defeat as soon as you grab onto the gun,
right?
And it works like every time. Whereas I've had, and it works without thinking about it because when I'm in a match, I'm doing my rifle thing, my shotgun thing. I'm dumping it. I go to my pistol and I try yanking it out, and it doesn't work. I'm like, oh yeah.
You're using so many different holsters that you're not. But if you're using only one or two holsters, right? You're going to know.
Yes.
Right? Muscle memory.
Yes. If you practiced a lot with this guy, it would be fine. Actually, I think they make a bigger target, like a bigger thumb button for this thing as well, the ALS. And I think if I had that one, it would probably automatically happen. But yeah, that's one thing I'm not a super big fan of. Now, what I do like about these retention holsters is, like you said, they don't come out. Your gun's not coming out of there. No way, no how. It's like it's probably got like, you could probably put like 50 pounds on that thing and it's still not coming out.
Okay.
Whereas you were also mentioning like drop and offset holsters, like this Blade Tech Pro. Now the difference with the Pro is that like a basic one, there's no offset and you can't really like tilt it. Whereas the Pro has a open top on it.
Right.
Which should mean that your gun clears the holster a little bit sooner. Like as you're pulling it out, the gun's now clear and you're ready to start shooting. But it also is a little bit tricky getting the tension right on this thing because there's nothing connecting those until right over here, and it's kind of open on the back. So
do you use this one for 3-gun?
Say again.
Do you use it for 3-gun?
I did use this one for 3-gun until it got me disqualified because my gun got knocked out.
Is that the one that your Glock fell out of?
Yeah, this is the one that my Glock fell out of because I thought the tension was okay, but it actually had started backing out on me. This one does not have any thumb adjustable screws on the outside. It's only with a Phillips, which you don't like. It's not a big deal. I carry a Phillips in my range bag, but it's kind of nice sometimes when you're at a stage to be like, that doesn't feel right, and just give something a little extra torque, right?
So check it before every match. Retention.
Or run the GLS, and then you don't have to care. It doesn't matter. Put it in, it's locked, it's not going to come out, and it's easy to defeat because you just have to grab the gun. One other holster. Yeah. This one has a little bit of offset as well. This is that Red Hill Tactical.
Oh, yeah.
Red Hill Tactical holster. This is their 3-gun model. Their other IPSC models kind of cut the top out here so you can get your gun clear a little bit quicker. It's also just a friction fit holster. It's Kydex.
Kydex.
There's a lot of these guys out now that just make Kydex holsters because Kydex is very easily moldable, and you can make your own holsters, or some of these guys will custom make one. So they'll have like different thicknesses. This one has 2 layers on it just to make it a little bit more beefy. And for 3-gun, you lay down on stuff. So that's what I was thinking.
So
this one also has thumb screws on the outside to tighten it down if you need to.
So for someone who only has, like, as I said, Trevor has enough holsters. He's more holsters than underwear, right? So I only have a few holsters. And they are all duty holsters, basically. I don't know if I'd be all that comfortable with a Kydex. Just a friction to hold it in. If I'm running, like I didn't feel comfortable, obviously, with the Blade Tech that I had. So,
well, so for three gun, or sorry, for IPSC, you start the match, you pull your gun out, and it doesn't go in until you're done.
Yeah.
And then and when you're done, let's say you're walking around, you're grabbing a hamburger or something like that, and your pistol gets knocked off and it falls on the floor. You call an RO over. You say, sorry, my pistol dropped on the floor. You pick it up. They pick it up, clear it, put it back in your holster, and there's no big deal. While in three gun, you have to run around with the thing on.
Right.
You have to run, and depending on your three gun club, it might be pretty physical. You might be carrying a dummy out of a car. You might be shooting inside the trunk of a car. You might be crawling prone or something like that. So there's a bunch of different things that are a lot more physically demanding and require something that's got a lock on it, so that your 3-pound competition pistol doesn't jump out of your holster, right?
Right.
And yeah, that's where retention. Now, the one thing that we don't have, or I don't have to show, is like a pure competition gamer pistol.
Right.
Or a holster.
Holster.
Yeah.
Right.
Because and Trevor's, I don't know if does Trevor have like a ghost holster?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
So with that, all it is basically it's being held in at the trigger, and it's sitting in there, and there's so much cut away from it.
Well, yeah, some of them just have the trigger, and that's it. They're like hanging on to the trigger. The Double Alpha Race Master, I think. There's actually some guys who run those for three gun, because they have a positive locking mechanism on there. The gun's not going to come off. So even though it's just grabbing on by the trigger guard there, even though that's all they're grabbing on by, they're secure. And there's guys who will just run around in three gun doing that. Right. And then there's also I think the Ghost has a peg that you put the barrel into, and then it locks on the back as well. So it's kind of got like a structure that comes down to the back there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I don't know. I don't know if I really feel comfortable with that. Maybe it's just me and my...
The thing that you get with those is a frictionless draw. All these friction fit, even this one, which is like the pro one for competition, even it has friction coming out. Whereas those other ones, as soon as you defeat that mechanism, there's nothing.
Right.
I mean, the GLS is kind of close, because as soon as you've defeated that grip there, it's coming out, but there's still a little bit of friction, and you still have to clear like the 6 inches of plastic along the top, right?
Yep.
Whereas those other ones, you grab onto the little whatever the thing is to deactivate it, and you pull the gun away like there's nothing there.
Yep.
I don't got one of those. Those are those are $200 holsters, and I don't know. Like I have the same fears as you for three gun. I'd rather have something that provides a little bit more coverage. Like that's decent. Okay. This is decent coverage on a Shadow too. It's covering about half the gun, right?
Right, and that's one that I have too for my Shadow. So the difference is you're looking at it from a three gun point of view, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas if Trevor, if he was here, he'd be saying, okay, it's my IPSC holster, right? And that's what he's looking at, the quick draw, right? Friction. So. Yeah. That's why he would run a different holster, probably.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it really depends on what division you're running. Like if you're running production, I think that Red Hill Tactical is fine. If you're running on open, you probably want like the best. You probably want the best equipment for that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. There was someone had asked about the Double Alpha PRD Pro.
Right. I did put that in the show notes there. So
yeah, that's another Kydex holster. I've heard good things about it for the Shadow. I haven't actually tried it myself.
Right. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
He's looking for basically a review of it. I haven't seen one. You haven't.
I have. I've seen them on the
so guys have been using it.
Yeah.
And they run well.
It's fine. It's a Kydex holster. It retains the pistol as long as, like, again, for something like a Shadow 2 that's 3 pounds, I would grab something with retention so it doesn't jiggle out of there.
How many pounds is it?
Well, it's funny. It's double the weight of a lot of other pistols. Like a lot of the polymer striker fired pistols are like half that, right?
Yes.
So it's a ton of weight. I mean, it's good for shooting. It's a beautiful gun to shoot, but it's very heavy.
Right. Yeah. Can I ask you about? All right, how many of these have you seen on the line? People with leather holsters, or even the cloth Uncle Mike's? Because we all know that. I don't know. I wouldn't trust leather or cloth Uncle Mike's. What do you think?
You know, a lot of the 3-gun guys have to buy a lot of kit, so I have never seen a leather holster. I've seen leather holsters at IPSC. Older guys that have like a pistol that was tuned up like 10 years ago or something like that. They were still rocking the original holster that they had. But no, these days, like Kydex, a couple of guys I've seen with those cloth ones. And the basic idea with that is if you're going to run that thing, you have to run the crappy Velcro strap that goes over top. Otherwise, it's not going to hold anything in. It's like basically a floppy bag that you put a pistol in.
A floppy bag.
Yeah. And you have to run the Velcro strappy thing over top. Otherwise, that gun's coming out. And we actually on our in our rule set and in our like basic intro, we say get a Kydex holster.
Okay, so that's a good thing to also discuss. Like from the point of view, you have to know what the rules are for your specific discipline. I do know that there's the retention levels that you need in specific sports. So you're going to have to figure that out. So you know what, a leather holster or, as I said, a crappy, Uncle Mike's is not going to work.
Well, and if you're shooting IDPA, it basically has to be at belt level. Like you can't run it too low. You have to run.
So you can't do the drop shot, right?
This one will be fine,
right?
Because the belt's right about in the middle. You can't do the drop offset. And in IPSC, I think this one's legal. Here, let me find out live. In IPSC, you need to make sure that the butt of the gun. Yeah, this one's good. The butt of the pistol goes above the top of your belt. So I'm good there. And there's also a requirement on how far away it is from your body.
Right.
I'm pretty sure this guy wouldn't be no good for IDPA because it's too far away from the body. Like IDPA is supposed to be more practical. So they're trying to say like this would be a holster that you could use from concealment. So you're not supposed to use your Space Tech holsters.
No. Yeah. We have IDPA every Saturday here as well. And I've been asked if I want to go to it. So I have to figure out some holsters that I'm going to be using because I don't have a holster that I can conceal.
Well, this is like it doesn't actually have to be a concealment holster, but this is like an outside the waistband holster that would be fine. You got one of these?
Yeah, I know.
Just run that guy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. Leather holsters, I think they're cool. I don't think they're practical.
No, unless you're you know what, they're a lot of fun if you're shooting cowboy action though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. If you're gonna shoot cowboy, yes.
You need leather holsters
there.
If you need leather holsters if you're shooting cowboy action. You can't bring a Kydex holster.
You could. You just couldn't do like the whole period piece, like dress up with like the bolo tie.
But you have to. Those are part of the rules.
10-gallon hat.
They don't.
That's
have
also in there.
Back then.
9.8 gallon. No good.
All right.
You have to wear cowboy boots too, right? I'm pretty sure that's required. Snake skin, crocodile skin.
It depends.
No Kydex.
It depends on what you're shooting. But yes, you're supposed to dress up and you're supposed to have specific things you're supposed to. I
think they don't actually need retention. Their pistols could be like sitting in a flip flop for all it matters. So like the leather holsters are a leather flip flop maybe.
Yeah, leather flip flop.
I mean their holsters are made for speed, so they need to be pretty loose and able to quick draw from those things. Right. So yeah,
they
need a lot of room there.
Not a lot of running and not a lot of retention.
Yeah. So in terms of different ways to connect, I think I showed a couple there. There's the standard belt loop, which doesn't like there is no quick disconnect. You got to take this thing off, take your belt completely off to pull that guy out. Safariland's got a really cool quick clip option that I really like. I would say that this one feels a little bit more secure than the Blade Tech option.
Yeah.
Just subjectively, but it's also a little bit closer to the gun as well. So I personally prefer that style retention clip. This is a bugger to get off though. Like if you're wearing it on your belt to get this guy off, because you actually have to press on the middle and pull at the bottom for it to unlatch because it's so strong. So if that's sitting on your belt, it's tough to get off.
You're taking the belt off and through the other side, basically.
Whereas, I mean, and there's a couple of ways of doing the Blade Tech locks as well. You can go down.
Yep.
So that's popping in there. I don't actually like doing this because there's a little with the Blade Tech locks. If you pop that into your belt, you can like knock off these little spacers that they've got in them.
Yeah, they do.
And you have to blindly get this little lock latch. So I prefer to run them facing up, the forks facing up, because I find it easier to get this up into my belt, and then I can actually see, oh yeah, am I latched or not? Yes, I'm latched, and then I can see the lock being put in place.
Perfect.
And it's all a little bit more visible.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
All of these are inferior to the system you're running.
Okay. Yeah. which is the quick disconnect one.
The Safariland ELS and QLS fork system. I mean, do you have the belt too? The Safariland belt that has little holes in it, that kind of thing? No? That's even cooler, because then you can put like a whole bunch of pre-built like little spots, and they got the holster one, and you can just boop clip it in there.
No, just the
plain forks.
That's
so good. It's still like the nice thing about that is that when you go to the washroom, you unclip, you leave your gun at the safe table.
Remember what I was telling you about the porta potty, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Because where's your gun safest?
At the safe table?
It is safest in the holster, right?
In the holster at the safe table.
Okay. So but when you gotta go to the washroom, just take it out. That's literally what I do, is take it out and put it on the side over here, because it's still in the holster.
I like leaving mine at the safe table. I even like clipping the holster off, because like when you're in the bathroom, like a lot of these porta potties don't have a ton of room around, and like if you've got like all this stuff on your belt,
boys pee everywhere. It's disgusting.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Some of them have the little side urinal that we use too. So
that's
we get to pee on that as well as the toilet. Yeah, it's good to have options. But no, usually I just take my whole belt off. Take my belt off, leave it at the safe table, go and do the thing, come back, put the belt on. Yeah, it's just easier. Yeah.
Unless you have the Safariland fork system,
and then you just pull it off, easy peasy. Yeah. I mean, if you know you're not shooting for a while and you're just resetting for a long time, why walk around with a 3-pound weight on your side? Just take it off and leave it at the safe table and go do your patching without having a bunch of stuff stuck to you, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I will put my holsters. I'll take my guns out, and I will put them in the holsters and leave it on the safe table and do whatever I need to do. And then when I'm ready, I'll go over and get it.
Oh, you know what I got to do? I got to get my I have to get my shot shell carrier on some forks, because it's right up front. It's such a pain in the butt. Like trying to reach forward or bend down and grab like a plate or something like that off the floor. It's always in the way right up front. I gotta put that thing on forks, so it's just a quick way to take them off. One way. All right, one day. Yeah. Anything else to talk about holsters?
No, there's a few questions that are in the listener feedback. So we'll probably talk about some other things there, but I think that's pretty good.
Cool.
Maybe next time when we are on, and if Trevor's with us, he can show us his ghost holster.
Yeah,
If he
or
has-
his concealment holster, because I
Yeah,
don't have any
well-
of those.
yeah, he showed that the other day too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
And if you're just looking for something general, like a general recommendation, Safariland 579. This
Right.
is $50 on Amazon.
Yep. And it's good, and it's kind of like the universal one. There's a whole bunch of different ones that it can fit. So as I said,
Yeah, I mean, all the guns that I showed will all fit in that holster.
right? Yeah, that's exactly it. It'll fit a Glock. It'll fit the CZ. It'll
Fit a 1911.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything I got here will fit in that holster.
And it comes with little shims. It comes with instructions on, whichever gun it is. Here's what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean, if it's basically if it's got like a metal thin trigger guard, you leave a little shim in there so it like has a little bit more to grab onto. And if you got like a Glock or something with a bit of a thicker trigger guard, I mean, you can take that shim out of there before you put your Glock in.
Yep.
But super easy. I love the flexibility. I wish I got 6 holsters here. I really need that Safariland. Maybe 2 of them. Maybe 2 of the Safarilands.
So Safariland, and which other one do you think that you would?
No, 2 of them. I'll just take 2 Safariland holsters.
Oh, okay.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case I needed like a lefty or a cross draw or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah. No. Okay.
Cowboy action with my Glock and
yeah.
Shadow.
Have you ever double carried?
No.
No, you should try it.
No. I shoot matches and they frown upon that. They frown when you go like this or
no, it's left hand or right hand.
I would need a left-handed holster.
Exactly.
Ugh.
So you needed a left-handed holster.
A 7th holster? No, yeah. I'm good. Maybe I'll put them both on one right side. There we go. Are we all holstered out?
Pretty much until we get to the next part of the show.
All right. Why don't we head into the YouTube feedback? Have you been watching YouTube feedback?
I have.
Good.
So there is some from Bono Fung. He said his thumb one saved me a few times from dropping his gun and 3-gun with a lot of running. So left hand, and then we also have another comment just came in. Left-handed holsters are usually cheaper than the right-handed. That's right, and the reason is because there's only a few of them and hardly anybody.
Because they're cursed. Like the shop owner accidentally bought the left-handed one. They didn't even want to, and they're like, "Oh my god, I've been sitting on this holster for forever." They've already come out with 3 new versions, and then they just sell it for less just to get rid of it.
Yeah,
it's one of those cursed lefties.
Although a lot of people are. In our circle of people that we know, a lot of them are left-handed, which is unusual. So I don't know. Let's see what else. Not a lot else out there.
Mailman was saying he thinks it's better that his safe doesn't have a light, so his wife can't see how many guns are in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? She needs to buy some guns too. I'm just saying that will make it.
Or decoy safe. Decoy safe with like an old, like rusty old wood gun in there, and then another one with all the real stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's it, I think.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, why don't we head on to listener feedback? Listener feedback is sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. They offer hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. And follow him on Facebook and Instagram, that kind of thing.
Right. And FYI, just before we get into the listener feedback, he is also, he just posted that he's looking for help in the store as well. So if you're in Northern New Brunswick and you would like to work with Trevor Furlot every once in a while, you know what, go and drop off a resume.
You're not selling this very well with that whole Trevor part, right?
I know. I was just thinking, maybe that's not a selling feature.
Yeah, they'll have to pay more now. They'll have to, like, that's danger pay there.
Denis is a nice guy, though. So
he is. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
I'll spare your sore throat, and I'll do this first one from Spencer. Spencer says, "Hi, guys. I wouldn't want you to go 2 weeks in a row with no email, so I'd figure I'd put an extra long one together for this week."
Awesome.
Kidding. Maybe. First up, for your holster extravaganza, I've sent a picture of my extra holster drawer. I know pistol owners everywhere tend to get to end up with some extra holsters, but one thing that you guys in the Great White North don't deal with is carry holsters.
Mm.
I'm sure you'd love to have this problem. But carry holsters are a weird mix that need the performance of a competition holster when being drawn from, but the retention of a duty holster. They also need features that neither of those holster types require to make them concealable. And then comes the fact that you're carrying them next to your body for 10 or 12 hours a day, so it has to be reasonably comfortable to support the firearm in a way that won't cause physical problems down the road. The end result is that a good carry holster is really hard to find. You end up trying a lot of different ones, looking for that perfect mix of all the aspects above, which means you end up with a lot of ones that didn't quite fit the bill. Kind of like the land of misfit toys, but for holsters. That's probably his holster drawer, right? The misfit holsters. And since no one wants a used holster that's been rubbing up against you and sweated on, the land of misfit toys becomes the drawer of misfit holsters. They just put them in the dishwasher, wash them off.
Yeah.
Secondly,
put a little, rubbing alcohol on it. It'd be fine.
Yeah. Spritz it. Yeah. Secondly, I was wondering if any of you guys have ever shot a Mosin M44. Yep, I have. That's the carbine. Since it's American, I'll say carbine. Carbine length version of the traditional rifle, and it's the only Mosin I have left. It's much more reasonably sized gun than the full-sized rifles, and it makes some impressive fireballs at the range. It's also the last variant, so they have all the refinements with bunny ears over them of the previous models, because we're still talking about a Mosin here, right?
Yeah.
And are generally in much better shape. They are really the only Mosin I can recommend owning these days. Yeah, they're great. They're very handy, like very short, whereas the big ones are like a flagpole, if you could imagine aiming a flagpole around.
It's too bad Trevor's not on, because he would say no. Basically,
he's allowed to be wrong though about this one. The other cool thing about the is it the 44 or the 38? I think it's the 44 has a side folding bayonet on it. Because like the original Mosins, do I have mine here? That's on the shelf over there. Have a sticker that's about yay long. So that's for your traditional like infantry. We didn't bring enough ammo, so let's start poking each other to death. And whereas the M44 has a very nice side folder. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Third, just a few notes. I did get my Desert Tech MDR in last week, but I wasn't able to get it out to the range over the weekend, and I'm in training all this week. I'll send you a review when I get some time with it, but so far I'm impressed with the overall fit and finish.
Cool.
And as you can see from the enclosed picture, it is more compact with a can on it than my AR-10 is without one. That's I'm really interested to know about that one, because I think Ian from InRange TV, they were having some problems with the gas settings on theirs and getting it quite right. So bring some extra ammo and make sure that you've tuned that thing correctly.
Okay.
Also, I think Adriel is correct in his conspiracy theory about Mossberg's new pistol. I don't know how to confirm this though. Maybe I could contact Gersan. Maybe if I could get like a Turkish interpreter and send like a real informal email to Gersan, maybe they'd be able to confirm or not.
No, just say it with a Turkish accent.
I don't even know how. I can't do a French accent. How am I supposed to do a Turkish accent?
I don't know.
The model name and the use of SIG sights, as well as the general styling, really seems to indicate that Gersan had a hand in at least designing this pistol. In fact, I'm guessing that Mossberg is doing the same thing Springfield did with the XD guns and having Gersan make them to spec in Turkey and then importing them. There's no way they could sell them for $350 US if they were made in the States.
Nope.
But they say made in the States. That's the thing. Like the
does it really?
Does. Yeah, the frame says
it.
Yeah.
Do you think technically all the parts were made in Turkey and it was put together in the US?
Maybe. Maybe all the other parts, maybe all the steel and all that kind of stuff, and they just like crank out the plastic here. Maybe.
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know. This is all conspiracy theory.
Although they have to have, in order to be said to be made in the U.S., a certain percentage of it has to be manufactured in the U.S. I do know that.
The frame is a pretty big percentage.
Yeah.
That's it for now. I guess that wasn't too long. I'll try harder next time. From Spencer. P.S. So not only is Trevor collecting milsurp guns, but now he's competing with a true 1911 and not a 2011, which was pretty much a 1911 anyways, but an actual 1911 Moses Browning would have recognized.
Yep.
Lord, how the world has changed.
I know. 2 years ago, 1911s, he says, "Pah!"
And SKSs.
And he was, "Pah!" SKSs. Pah!
Mm-hmm.
No, but although he has gone back a little bit on the milsurp.
A little bit, yeah. He discovered that they're not as fun to shoot as a modern rifle. No. Yeah.
Well, he also did the shooting in the middle of freaking winter, so.
I have a Mosin, and I probably won't sell it, but it's not a fun gun to shoot. It's not fantastic, like going out to the range and shooting it. Banging away at a gravel pit or something like that, for sure, because the ammo's cheap and you're not sitting at a bench, having that steel butt plate rammed into your shoulder or anything like that. Right. Standing's better. Yeah. Do you want to take this next one from Benny?
Sure. This one's from Benny. It says, "Hi, guys. Hope all is well. From what I understand, and Kelly might be right, but from what I have been told, no range in Ontario will let you shoot restricted unless you have taken the ATT course and are a member of a range." I'll get to that in a second. My old range limited that is as of now to just handguns. Last I checked, you would be able to I'm reading this like crap. Shoot an AR without the course. I'm an instructor for the CSSA course that you have to take, but that doesn't matter. They will still say that I need to be a member of a range. So the only pistol practice I get now is the OPMLS practice matches during the winter.
OPMSL.
Oh, what did I say? I don't know. Okay. What really needs to happen is someone had to sit down with all the ranges in Canada and try and get a united front, make a universal set of rules for ranges that don't suck. Well, I agree with that. So going back to this first paragraph.
These aren't a legal requirement though anymore.
No, they're not. They were. Yeah. So the CFOs said that everybody who wanted to actually go and shoot at the range had to take the ATT course that was put on. The CSSA wrote it and delivered it, but it was club level ATT course. So that was a mandatory course that you had to go to, and you did have to shoot, and you had to show that you were competent with a pistol or a revolver or whatever. Now, the ATT is now attached to your to your license now. And when that happened, a lot of the ranges basically said, well, what are we going to do now? But I do know that the ones that I am part of still require you, like, for example, Frontenac still require you to do a club level course. The one that I just did last weekend. And also Brockville, they still require you to do it as well. It's kind of like them holding on to something, basically saying.
Well, they probably liked some aspects of it, right? Like that everyone gets a consistent level of training. They probably distrust the.
Well, the thing is, it's different because it's not regulated. It's not the same as the one that I just took. Was an hour, and I didn't even actually see a gun. So, whereas the one that I took in Brockville, which was the club level ATT course that the CFO mandated, I did actually have to go out and shoot, and I practiced with both revolvers, striker fire, all kinds of different guns. That I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if I don't think all the ranges in Ontario are still saying you have to do it, but I know there's a lot of them that do.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I belong to do.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Not so much out here.
But it's all different.
Yeah, so because they're all club level now.
And Benny, I apologize for just bastardizing that.
All right.
You want to read the one from Justin?
You bet. Hello, okay. Slamfire Radio. I figured I would send an email because there was no email feedback from last week. This is a question directed to Adriel and possibly Trevor.
And how about Kelly? Because I actually know the answer to this
Kelly
one.
Too. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I was watching episode 282 and I watched how Adriel put his Shadow 2 into an ultrasonic cleaning machine and how it came out squeaky clean. I must say I was impressed. My question is, have any of you guys used an ultrasonic cleaner for brass casings to prep for a reloading session?
Yes.
Yes, here too. Upon cleaning gunpowder parts, are there certain cleaning solutions one would recommend, like the Hornady gun cleaner solution, straight up water and soap, other formulas? Is an ultrasonic cleaner okay in metal parts that are Cerakoted or chrome plated versus blued or parkerized?
Hmm.
Maybe we can hit on some of these right now.
Okay.
There's some ammonia-based ones that won't be good for aluminum, and they'll cause like frosting on it that is not as good as it sounds. So there's that thing to worry about. Yeah, the cleaner you use will have to depend
What
on
you're
the
cleaning.
metal and the thing that you're cleaning. The safest thing
Right.
is just distilled water with a
Yeah.
little bit of soap. That it's hard to mess up something with that.
So
Um,
Dawn, the blue Dawn soap is great. So
mhm.
distilled water in that.
If you're going to do brass, a lot of guys like to put some vinegar in there just
Yeah.
to kind of eat away at the stuff and make them squeaky clean.
Yeah. And then you can also, as he said, Hornady gun, you can buy that
Mm-hmm.
from the store as well.
Yeah, or some guys like to use simple green.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. For brass, it does do a nice-ish job with it.
Yeah.
I think it's still you do more bulk just with a vibratory tumbler. If you're gonna do
Yeah.
like 9 mil and do like a whole bunch of it, I would just use a vibratory tumbler than a
So
ultrasonic.
if you're OCD, not saying anybody on this podcast is OCD, all of us, so in prepping, we've got basically, I think probably, I don't know, maybe 10,000 rounds of 9mm that's ready to go, but it was all done in the ultrasonic cleaner first, and then put it in a tumbler with walnut and also ball bearings as well. And squeaky clean.
You guys ultrasonic cleaned and then vibratory?
As I said, OCD. It's beautiful brass, by the way, but it's
My 9 mil brass, I typically wash it if it's dirty, and that's it.
yeah. The
Yeah.
stuff is like high polished. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Let's see here. The other main concern that I would have is drying the metal parts well enough to prevent rusting. I understand, Adriel, that you use compressed air, but what about a hair blow dryer, or if not, baking said parts in an oven? Just thinking out loud with this one. Yeah, I mean, if you fully disassemble whatever you're cleaning, no issue, because you can wipe it off very easily, and then blow dry it or use a compressed air or something like that.
I've also seen people use dehydrators as well.
Mm-hmm.
And level it and turn it on, and it blows air. So
yeah, I like the canned air or compressed air. Now, keep in mind, some guns are better taken apart. Like if you're going to do like a 1911, I would take it apart because there's lots of steel parts in there, and there's lots of like little nooks and crannies for the water to hide. And I would think that I would take those apart rather than trying to clean them all in one shot. Yeah. Let's see here, and some of these guns have finishes on them that are impervious to water, and they just won't rust. Like the Glocks are pretty good for that. They've got some pretty good finishes on them that make it less of an issue. Let's see here. I was originally thinking of going with a rotary tumbler for cleaning brass, but if an ultrasonic cleaner can clean both brass cases for reloading and do some gun parts, seems like it would be a good dual purpose kind of machine, right? I think, yeah, it is. It is a good dual purpose. And if you're just going to do rifle rounds, and if you're just going to do like bigger ones like 308 and not do so many of them, I think the ultrasonic's fine.
Yeah.
It's just if you're going to do bulk, 9mm, 223, that kind of thing, the vibratory is going to be faster. You guys use both though?
Yep.
How big's your ultrasonic?
It's not that big. Same size as the tumbler.
Just lots of batches. Lots of batches.
Lots of batches. Yeah. I got home late. I should have actually, prepared for this and brought out. Ta-da! But it does do a really, really, really good job. Like if you're looking for some quality brass, do the ultrasonic, and that's great because it gets into where the primer pockets are and everything, and then the brass the tumbler just shines it right up, and put the ball bearings in. It does an even better job of it too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Looking for some insight on the pros and cons of this idea. Look forward to the show every week and appreciate the banter. Keep up the good work. Justin from BC. Yeah, so Justin, yeah, ultrasonic will do both. And if you're going to do small, I don't know, it sounds like Kelly does both large and small volume through her ultrasonic. So yeah, I guess that's cool then. Did you want to take the next one from Harley?
I don't know if pick it up if I start screwing this up. Okay. Dear SFR, Slamfire Radio, I was just listening to your latest episode and heard you mention the individual who got in trouble for importing gel blasters. By the way, Harley is from New Zealand. Is it New Zealand? I think so. I think I would provide a little bit more information, as the situation is more ridiculous than you think. The company in question sells toy guns, mainly to the cosplay community, but also supplies toy guns as non-functional prop weapons for film and television. Prior to the prohibited weapon charges, the company had been selling gel blasters for some time and had undergone multiple firearm inspections. A repeated confirmation that the toys were in fact toys was received. After some time, the firearms branch of the New South Wales Police Department decided that the gel blasters substantially imitate actual firearms, which makes them illegal under the state firearms law. At that point, the toys were seized and charges of possession of prohibited weapons were laid. Okay, it is really ridiculous.
Yeah. By the way, we changed the law. You're under arrest.
Yeah. What is particularly ridiculous here is that the police admitted on multiple occasions prior to the seizures that the blasters were children's toys, and yet they still made the decision that they were not subject to the relevant exemption. Here's hoping someday politicians and law enforcement agencies all over the world will see reason. Regards, Harley. So,
this is like every time someone says we just need to do what Australia does, like, no, no,
right.
This is ridiculous. Oh, okay, the gel blasters are okay, and then the week after, actually, you're under arrest.
Right. We've made some changes to the law or the interpretation of the law. Don't know.
I guess the RCMP does do that
sometimes. I'm just not. Yeah. You went there. I didn't. I just led you there. It's kind of like.
Thank you for that, because I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm here. Yeah.
He is from South. He's from South Australia. So. Yeah, I apologize for saying from New Zealand.
I mean, Southern Australia, New Zealand, same place, isn't it?
No, and we will probably be getting an email next week about the fact that it's
PI, US, whatever. It's all the same place, really.
And thanks for listening in Australia, which is tomorrow. Right now, you'll be hearing
they're from the future. They're from the future in Australia.
Hi.
Yeah. It's January 18th there. He listens to this before we even record it. Next one from Chris H. Hello, Kelly and the rest of Slamfire team hosts. Oh, Kelly and the gang. I
know Chris a lot. Like,
okay.
I've actually, well, he's our newest Maple Seed instructor. So hi, Chris. Yeah.
I just finished listening to episode 286, and I thought this is a good time to pose this question. I've recently got a brand new CZ Shadow 1. Come on, give this to me. And I'd like to get a holster for it. I have yet to take any formal pistol training, and would like to get a general purpose holster that would let me compete in any of the action sports, such as 3-gun, IDPA, or IPSC. What holster would you recommend if such a universal holster exists?
Well, yes, it does. We just talked about it. Adriel, show it.
That one.
Yeah.
579. It'll fit everything.
Line.
Everything goes in there.
Yep. It works perfect. It's one I have. I love it.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, like, you can... Here, let me take that little piece out there. And then there's my Glock, and bam! It's in there. So,
it fits a little differently. But
what's that?
It does fit a little differently, but
well, they got like a screw in the bottom. So like right now it's a little bit loose, so you can jack that screw in there and then it'll hold it tightly. But
the tension, yeah.
Yeah, it's still locked. It's still locked on there.
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a little bit loose, like not that loose, but just a little bit loose, just so that when you grab it, it's like there's nothing there, right? As soon as
You
you
got the
defeat that
wiggle and the
lock,
jiggle and the shimmy shake.
makes it more fast, so you can go fast. Yeah, Safariland 579 on Amazon for $55.
Right.
If the answer lies in a back episode, let me know. No, we just let you know. I would love to take a Furlachi type course or the pistol equivalent to a maple seed. If
It's
you are,
Furlachi.
it's a Furlachi, yeah. If
Yeah.
you're ever in Southern Ontario, they don't have flip charts though. If you're ever in Southern Ontario, I'd make the drive. Thanks for all you do.
You know what?
Yeah.
I was just going to say we should do another. You know what we really should do? We should do the charity event and do it in Ontario. I'm not planning it, by the way.
Listener planned.
And then we can do a Furlachi course here.
Yeah. Yeah, that would sell out. That'd be really
Yes,
easy
it
to
would.
sell out. Yeah,
That would be.
Another fun question for the hosts to ponder. What are your 2019 gun or gear purchasing goals this year?
Goals? Or what do we want?
What are my goals? I'd like to figure out which pistol to use for 3 guns since I have 3.
That's not a lot of pistols, you know.
It's not a lot of pistols. It's a lot of pistols for one particular sport that could be done with just one. Because, like, the thing is, you were mentioning holster familiarity and gun familiarity. How am I supposed to get that when I've got a Glock that I run, when I've got a 1911 that's all kitted out, and when I've got a Shadow 2 that's all kitted out? These are all different.
Yeah, but the holsters are different too. But you can use.
I could use that
one
579
holster
for all of them. Yeah.
And then you're familiar with it, and then you're you don't have to worry about anything with respect to, you know.
I'd also like to square away my AR or just use the WK.
Right.
That would be a dream of mine. How about you, Kelly?
You know what? At some point, I'd like to get a precision rifle. A nice precision rifle, not just the rimfire, although rimfire precision rifles are nice too. The Ruger, it's a nice one. But I don't think that is in 2019. Maybe 2020, because if I buy something, I need to have time to actually use it. What's my decision? And I'm thinking 2019. I had a lot of time to do a lot of things in 2018. Yeah, no, I had no time whatsoever, and I'm thinking 2019 will be just as busy, if not busier.
Well, based on the amount of maple seed you did, you certainly had a lot of time.
Well, yeah, you know, the best thing about that was the fact that I got to go across the country from one ocean to the other ocean, and I met some really, really, really good people. I didn't get to shoot a lot, though. I spent a lot of time in the car driving. Did I tell you I was in a car for 40 hours driving straight through to Alberta? Did I tell you that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
I could see it in your eyes when you got out of the car.
When we got to your place, we were going, we need a shower.
Yeah. Can we have a hose or something? Anything. Yeah. You got a kiddie pool? Fill it up.
Yeah. We were supposed to be answering Chris H's, but did I tell you that Chris H is our newest Maple Seed instructor? Yay!
Yay.
Yeah. He's an awesome guy.
Got to get more.
Yep.
Do you want to take the next one from Stephen? Stefan? Stephen or Stephen/Stefan?
I think it's Stephen. Right. I don't know. Yeah, he can send us an email and let us know if it's not Stefan. Just finished the latest episode and you finished talking about holsters. I really like to hear more about the subject. Well, guess what? You're in luck. I have a holster that uses a trigger guard lock that you disengage with your index finger. I've been using it for a year and have used it for competition and training at the range. People have said that you will get an ND with it, but I haven't figured out how. When you press the lock, you draw your finger index. When you press the lock and draw your index finger is along the frame and just under the slide. But since I would like to do some 3-gun at some point and maybe some SICK, I'm thinking about replacing it with a Ghost holster. They also have a trigger guard lock. How are the holsters better than the one that came with my Kinek TP9SA? Thanks for the great show. So he's looking at a ghost holster. I wonder what he is carrying or what he's using right now.
There we go. Just
Oh.
have to unmute myself. There's a couple of different index finger unlocking ones. There's some that are a little bit higher up, and those ones would be fine because you draw and your finger's up on the slide there. It's the ones that are right where your trigger are that you press that when you draw, every once in a while, some people accidentally put their finger on the trigger and pop one off into their thigh or the ground or whatever.
Now, I know that there's some holsters that you have to disengage with the index finger that are not allowed during certain courses.
Serpa holsters specifically.
Yeah.
If because you carry the paddle for those, here, let me do a little bit of fancy screen sharing this. Here,
so with the Serpa holsters, a lot of them will not be allowed. If you have one, you won't be allowed to attend the course. And if you come to the course, they'll say you need to go home unless you have another holster.
Yeah, that's because you're pressing like right where the trigger is. Yeah, so you pull that thing out, and your finger, like especially if they get jammed up with dirt or something like that, and you have to press extra hard. That's where like you're pressing in like that, because you press flat, you can't get a whole bunch of torque on it, but pressing at an angle, and then you draw and you're pressing really hard. God, get this thing out, and then boom, you light a round off. So that's the issue around the Serpa holsters. If you have a different one that's a little bit higher up in the frame, it's a little bit better. Personally, that's the guy right there. That's quick, and you don't have to think about it. You don't even have to have a particularly good grip on it to pull it out of there, and it works so good.
So when you said that a lot of people, Stephen, when you said that a lot of people said that you will get an ND, it might be because of the brand of the holster. I'm not sure about that, but
it could be misidentifying his holster for a Serpa as well. They might think that he's got a Serpa. Maybe he's got something else that you grab a little bit higher up on it.
Right.
Actually, I'm pretty sure even some of the Serpas have a higher up press on them, like the Blackhawk or something like that. But in any case, that's the risk around them. That's why they're banned from IPSC. And if you're just going to run IPSC, you don't necessarily need a retention holster. You can make do with a straight friction fit holster, and it'll be fine.
Right.
The retention is for 3-gun or more active style shooting than IPSC.
Right. Now, he said that he was thinking about replacing it with a ghost holster, so we talked a little bit about that. Maybe we can get, as I said, Torture Show.
Well, Ghost makes like the ghost holster that's like the skeletonized like crazy one, but they also make some like
really
holsters that look just like a Blade Tech.
Right.
So he's probably talking about the race holsters, and if you're going to get a race holster, it's a race holster. That'll be good. I think with a lot of those, with a Canik, make sure you get one that'll work with pistols. If you're ever going to upgrade that thing later to a different pistol or get into a different game or something like that, make sure you get a holster that'll adjust afterwards.
Right. Exactly. And again, Stephen, sorry for screwing up your email.
Stefan.
This email was brought to you by Benelin DM.
The DM's working.
Oh, believe me, it is.
Let's see here. From Jer.
It's
Let's
Jeremiah.
Mess up all the names tonight.
It's Jeremiah, but it comes from Jer.
Jer Bear. Thanks for all the work you provide. Thanks for all the work you do to provide a Canadian perspective on firearm sports, equipment, the law, and upcoming legislation. I enjoyed last night's show, the 14 facts about gun crime in Canada, and thank you for providing the link to the article. Sweet. It is difficult to have an evidence-based discussion surrounding Canadian firearms legislation when all too often news from the South ferments and informs many of the opinions and feelings of those north of the border. I have a question for both Adriel and Trevor. You get one of us. Have you ever fired the Hertenberger Surplus 7.62 by 51 NATO through your BCL 102 and Stag 10 respectively? Both this weekend. And it was fine. It was good. Yeah. Good. Tenda has some of that stuff for sale for, I want to say 75 cents per round, which is decent for 308. Did it cycle well, or should one just stick to 308? No, cycle well in both of them. If the question has been asked, we just answered it. No problem. And then
this is the one from Scott. And we already talked about it.
Yeah, Scott was talking about the PDR Pro. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just go boop and I'll share that so that everyone can see what everyone on YouTube at least can see what this thing's supposed to look like. It's $100. It's very adjustable, so you can adjust it back and forth in all sorts of different ways. It has a little thumb wheel adjuster. So this is like a high quality Kydex holster, right? And
so it's from Double Tap Sports. It's the Double Alpha Academy PDR Pro 2 holster. Or 2. Yep. It's $100.
And I don't see the CZ Shadow 2, but I know that they make one for a Shadow 2. So interesting.
Okay. Try it out.
Yeah. If you'd like to email the show, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com.
Yes.
Podcast app reviews, none. If you want to leave us a review, go ahead on iTunes or Podcatcher or PodDroid or whatever you use for listening to podcasts. Do you have any shout-outs, Kelly?
Yeah, I do. I have a couple. So, Dad, apparently you listen, so I just want to say happy birthday. Love you. And I have another one. Shoot. Oh, I know. It left my brain temporarily. Again, Benelin.
Are you shouting out Benelin, or do you have another shout out on top of that?
Yeah, I need to shout out to them because they've gotten me through this week. And no, I just wanted to say to Brian Bolivar and Ken Kowalski, thank you very much. You guys were amazing. They announced this week that Modern Rifleman Radio is no longer going to be a podcast. I just wanted to say thank you for all your information, the entertainment that you've given, and we're going to miss you. That's what I want to say.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
Patreon supporters. We have 83. If you want to help support the show, go on over to patreon.com/slamfireradio. The new patches are shipping. That's what their status is right now. Patches and stickers. And I got the glue on the stickers that never comes off. Like they have like a regular option that kind of peels, and I have a sticker on my safe, and it's kind of peeling away. So this time I opted for the extra cost glue that never comes off.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Great. So stick this to someone's windshield that you don't like, and don't blame us. So those are coming. Patreon supporters will get some of those in the mail. I also got 100 envelopes prepaid, so I'm going to start stuffing those as soon as I get that stuff in the mail. And yeah, just
you're gonna True.
I'm gonna get my kids to stuff the envelopes. You know I am. You guys want to help Dad? Put a sticker and a patch in all of these envelopes.
Okay, yeah.
And lick them. Nah, they use like these peeling stickers these days. You don't have to lick them.
Right.
But so anyways, Patreon helps us with hosting and doing all sorts of silly stuff, getting better video cameras and microphones and that kind of thing, so we sound fantastic while we talk trash to you over the airwaves.
I sound fantastic because of the fact that, my voice, it's the, that hoarse, sexy voice. Not really.
The smoker's voice. How long has Kelly been smoking? How many decades? Like, I don't think she does.
Yeah.
She just does like cigarettes and whiskey. No. Yeah.
Breakfast.
For breakfast. Yeah. In the cereal.
Yeah.
Whiskey in the cereal. Please join our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR. They put anyone on their TV shows, apparently. Just famous people. Just famous people. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. And see you next week.